She was the daughter of the town's most powerful lawman, and she vanished without a trace. What started as a kidnapping became a twisted web of betrayal, secrets, and lies. But the most disturbing part? The kidnapper wasn't a stranger. It was someone she trusted. Nestled deep in the American Midwest, the town of Winthrop Falls was a peaceful place. With a population of just under 10,000, it was the kind of town where everyone knew each other, and where crime felt like a distant rumor. Sheriff Tom Wallace wasn't just the law. He was the town's foundation. Respected, trusted, even feared. For 2 decades, nothing serious happened under his watch. But that calm was shattered by a single phone call. 911, what's your emergency? A panicked voice trembled on the other end. She's gone. Katie's gone. Her window's open. She's not in her bed. Katie Wallace, 17 years old, smart, kind, well-liked, and the sheriff's only daughter. She had vanished from her bedroom during the night. Sheriff Wallace called in every available unit. Roadblocks went up. Helicopters circled. K-9 units scoured the woods. By sunrise, national news headlines read, "Sheriff's daughter vanishes in sleepy Midwest town." But Sheriff Wallace wasn't just terrified. He was angry. He knew this wasn't random. Katie always locked her windows. She didn't trust easily. This had to be personal. As the investigation intensified, Katie's best friend Molly came forward with a trembling voice and tear-filled eyes. She handed over Katie's phone, revealing messages that changed everything. "I think someone's watching me, and just 3 days before she disappeared. If something happens to me, check Lucas." Lucas Jameson, 19, former honor student turned troubled recluse, and Katie's secret boyfriend. Sheriff Wallace was blindsided. He didn't even know they were speaking. Lucas came from a broken home. His father was in prison. His mother was rarely around. He was brilliant but angry, charismatic, yet deeply unstable. When questioned, Lucas claimed he hadn't seen Katie in days. "She ghosted me," he said casually. "She cut me off." But surveillance footage told a different story. The break came from a retired forest ranger named Bill, who phoned in a tip. He'd seen a red car near a remote ranger cabin miles outside of town. Police arrived at the cabin. The car was there, partially hidden under a tarp. The door was locked from the outside, and inside, they heard crying. Katie was alive, dehydrated, bruised, terrified, tied to a metal pipe in the basement, but she wasn't alone. On the wall above her was a map. 2 names were scribbled next to locations in other counties, girls who had gone missing in recent months. No one had connected the dots, until now. And Katie had overheard something chilling. Lucas wasn't working alone. Katie told detectives she had heard a female voice during her captivity. It sounded familiar. The woman had comforted her, fed her, even held her hand. When Lucas's phone was searched, a familiar number popped up again and again. It belonged to Deputy Rachel Myers, a trusted officer in the sheriff's own department, someone who had known Katie since she was a child. Rachel and Lucas were cousins. She had been using her badge and access to sabotage the case from the inside. She leaked search updates, redirected leads, and even altered reports. Investigators discovered she had been radicalized online, drawn into a dark underworld of money, control, and trafficking. Katie was never supposed to be the sheriff's daughter. She was supposed to be just another girl, betrayal inside the badge. Sheriff Wallace was devastated. A woman he trusted with his life had helped kidnap his daughter. Lucas had been her pawn, the face on the front lines, but Rachel had been the one pulling the strings. They didn't expect the national headlines. They didn't count on the sheriff's relentless pursuit. Justice is served. Lucas cracked during interrogation. He confessed to kidnapping Katie, with Rachel's help. He led investigators to another cabin where evidence linked them to 3 other disappearances. Rachel tried to escape. She made it all the way to the state border, but she was caught. Her chilling final words, "You protect the system for too long, eventually it breaks you." Katie spent weeks recovering, physically and emotionally, but she survived, and she refused to stay silent. She became a fierce advocate for missing children, working with families who never got the closure she did. Sheriff Wallace resigned just months later. His final words at the press conference, "I spent my life protecting others, but I couldn't protect my own. I won't make that mistake again." In the heart of a quiet town, evil had hidden in plain sight. A trusted deputy, a broken boy, and a sheriff who discovered the worst betrayal comes from within. But one girl's courage and a father's relentless love turned a nightmare into a fight for justice. So hey, subscribe for more real-life stories that uncover the darkest truths. And share your thoughts in the comments. Your voice matters. If you or someone you know suspects human trafficking, call the National Human Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-788.